Every sports network right now features guys in expensive suits yelling about who wants it more. It's a high-decibel performance prioritizing personality over cold data. We are stripping away the television polish. Going forward, this show operates on a single mandate. We look at the undisputed facts, and we hold legacy football nations entirely accountable to the data. Corporate media fluff leaves you blind to the actual stakes of the summer. When you examine the raw numbers, you find a brutal, hidden reality about the upcoming World Cup, one that your favorite teams are desperately hoping you ignore. 48 teams will compete across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. We are looking at 104 matches spread across an entire continent. This scale turns a traditional football tournament into a logistical meat grinder. Squads drawn into the Mexican groups face a physiological threat. Playing in the Estadio Azteca means competing at an altitude of over 7,000 feet. Lungs burn faster, and the body's white blood cell counts struggle to keep up with the sudden extreme demand for oxygen. Then there is the heat of an American summer. A squad finishes an intense match in the blistering humidity of Miami, only to board a cross-continental flight to play their next game in a completely different climate. These compounding physical demands will function as an endurance filter. The brutal geography and the schedule are set to systematically expose and break down aging or underconditioned rosters. The supercomputer models at Opta and Goldman Sachs have a clear favorite. Their probability matrix places Spain at the top, giving them a 16.1% chance of winning the tournament, based on their recent scoring efficiency and tactical momentum. But those models ignore the physical cost of the players themselves. Spain's attack relies heavily on Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, two players already hitting their physical limits and missing final friendlies just to manage muscle fatigue. The algorithms favor France in second place, yet they failed to account for Kylian Mbappe's recent inefficiency. In the final stretch of friendlies leading to the tournament, he has repeatedly failed to convert easy chances, producing scoreless performances that suggest a dip in lethality. Predictive algorithms calculate talent on a spreadsheet. They do not calculate the heavy legs, the oxygen depletion, and the exhaustion of a high-altitude cross-continental gauntlet. England manager Thomas Tuchel has already rejected the popular Golden Generation narrative. He purposefully dropped several of the country's most creative, fan-favorite players to prioritize something else entirely. The media response was centered on the exclusion of Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose passing range is statistically elite. However, the defensive data shows why Tuchel viewed him as a tactical liability. Alexander-Arnold wins just 55.3% of his defensive duels. In the air, that success rate drops to 47.1%. Cole Palmer followed a similar pattern. While he attempts nearly 9 progressive passes per 90 minutes, he only completes 67% of them. In a tournament defined by travel and fatigue, that volume of possession turnovers is a risk Tuchel refused to take. Tuchel opted for defensive reliability, selecting structurally disciplined players like Jordan Henderson. Tuchel is betting that in a physical gauntlet, luxury creators are less valuable than structural stability and physical durability. The sports media has already written a dream ending for this summer. A 38-year-old Lionel Messi arrives in New York, lifting the World Cup trophy one last time to conclude his career. The current reality is less certain. Manager Lionel Scaloni is already micromanaging Messi's minutes, just to prevent muscle complaints from turning into tournament-ending injuries during low-stakes warm-up games. Statistical history also works against Argentina. The winner slump has caused reigning champions from France to Germany to collapse and face early exits in the following tournament for over 20 years. Finally, there is the inescapable biological reality. A 38-year-old body has a physical limit on how fast it can recover during a 48-team war of attrition. For aging icons, the 2026 World Cup is less a stage and more a trap. The physical demands of the entire tournament point toward a sudden, catastrophic collapse rather than a scripted goodbye. Pragmatism determines who survives the 2026 schedule. The teams that map their strategy to the heat and the fatigue are the only ones with a realistic path to the trophy. We look at the numbers and speak the cold truth. Welcome to the Raw Takes.